Hi guys, today we're unboxing and setting up a Wirefree camera from Reolink. This particular one is the Reolink Argus 3 Pro. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So this camera is an upgrade to the Reolink Argus 3. I'll include a card in the corner there if you want to check out the review I've done of that one, and I'll include details in the description. The key differences between the two systems: Pro has a 4 megapixel camera, whereas the original one has a 2 megapixel camera. The Pro supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, whereas the original one only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. The Pro has a sensor for picking up both human and vehicle detection, whereas the original only can pick up human detection. Both of them have a rechargeable battery. They can both be charged via a solar panel, so something like this, and that will give a trickle charge to the system. Both have color night vision, both are wire free, and both are outdoor cameras. The resolution on the camera is 2560 by 1440p. It has a 6500 milliampere battery. They say the battery lasts approximately 6 months in standby mode, and that's under normal conditions. It all depends on the amount of activity you have going on near the camera. So if you had a lot of movement being picked up by it, then obviously that lifespan will reduce. But having the trickle charge going to it can keep it going. So let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. You get a manual, which is multi-language. You get a declaration of conformity, which is multi-language as well. You get some stickers warning that CCTV is set up, and that's multi-language. You get templates used for the mounting brackets. You get 2 bags of fixtures. You get a strap used for mounting purposes if you want to strap the camera mount to a tree, for instance, or even a pole. You get a charging cable, USB-A on one side and micro USB on the other. Cable quality feels good. You get a selection of 3 mounts to use with the camera, and these are the standard ones that came with the previous camera, but this is a new one they've introduced, and I quite like this one because, say for instance you wanted to place the camera indoors or on a flat surface, it's ideal. It literally just slips in. You can just place it on your surface and you can turn it if you wanted to adjust it. So I think that's actually a really good one to provide in addition. Coming onto the camera, the design wise is exactly the same as the previous model. If I take this cover off, you got a glossy black finish around here, you got floodlights on there, you got the lens there, you got the microphone pickup point and a PIR sensor here. All glossy white around here, obviously they're branding there. In terms of dimensions, 9 centimeters tall, 5.5 centimeters wide and 6 centimeters deep. So really nice and compact. Looking underneath, if I open this up, it reveals the on-off button and the point where you'd put in a micro SD card. On the back, you can see the speaker location, the mount position, and the USB point for charging the device. As a side-by-side comparison with the older model, which is here, you can tell it's identical, no real difference. Let's install a micro SD card. So it can support cards up to 128 gig. It's just a matter of just slotting it in here, pushing it in, and you're done. An optional solar panel is available to give a trickle charge to the camera. Looking at the back, you can see the bracket over here, and there's fixtures in there to attach it to a wall. And the connection point here has rubber around it, so you can get a tight seal on there. So once you plug it in, there you go. It's all sealed around there. Let's make a start at setting up the camera. So coming over to my Android phone, if I go to the Play Store, the app you're after is Reolink. I've already got it installed. Get it installed, register an account, and then if I open up the app, this is what you're initially presented with. I've got existing cameras there. So if I now click the plus, we need to scan in the QR code at the back of the camera. Wi-Fi not configured. Need to power on the camera, slide the button across. Indicate we've heard the sound from the camera, click next. Need to enter in my Wi-Fi details, so let me do that off camera. Click next. It's going to present a QR code, and I'll just present that to the camera.
Camera is connecting to your router. Please wait. Connection to the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
Okay, it's connected. Let's click next.
Connection to the router succeeded.
It's asking for initial password, which is good, so you can secure the device straight away. Click next. Give the camera a name. I'll call it garden camera. And there you go, the camera's added, simple as that. Now coming into the camera, let's have a brief look around the options you have available. So if I click on settings, you can see the memory card details, you can see the battery usage, network display. So coming in there, you can get the screen rotated. There you go, so flips it around. Quality wise, you can change the resolution on here. So clear has the highest resolution and fluent has a reduced resolution. So that's when you're out and about and you want to see a faster picture coming back to you. Back from here, anti-flicker details. So 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz and auto, set to auto. Day and night. So this is where you change it to have color night vision. But when it's set to auto, it'll automatically go to the infrared, which is black and white. Camera name, bottom right, you can just see it there. Date at the top, you can change those locations. Standard functionality on the Reolink cameras. Watermark, you can remove that. Exposure, you can change that. Backlight and 3D DNR. Let's come back from here. PIR motion sensor, it's on at the moment. Going in there, you can change the sensitivity level. Reduce false alarms. So it says if you have received frequent alarms by waving objects within monitoring zone, please enable this to reduce false alarms. And again, sensitivity can be adjusted as well. Back from here, back again. Camera recording coming into that. So camera recording's on. You've got a schedule as well coming into that. It's enabled to record, so you can change that if you wanted to. And detection type, if I untick it, you can see you can have one of these options on if you wanted to. So if you just wanted person detection, or you just wanted vehicle detection, or if you wanted both, or others meaning if there's any sort of motion detected. Back from here, post motion recording duration, so 8 seconds, you can take it up to 30 seconds. So if you did have some motion happening, it can do an extra record so you can see what happens a little bit longer after that. Best to keep this a low value, only because otherwise it will just use up more and more of the battery. Overwrite, so when it does fill up, you can get it overwriting automatically. Back from here, push notifications, so you can be notified if there's any motion detected or if there's a low battery. If I turn that on, and below you can see push schedule, so if you wanted it just to happen during a certain period, you can make the adjustments here just by selecting and then changing the time period. And if I select it just to show, if I click on that, I can just disable it. There you go. So I'll only get it during that period, which is nice. And again, once you've set it, you can just copy it to the other days. Going back in there, let's push it back up. That's it. So it's on all the time. Back from there, email alerts, Siren. So at the moment it's off. You can turn it on. You can have a custom sound in there or just go with the default sound. Custom sounds wise, you can record your own. So you could have a dog barking, for instance. Back again from there, you got a schedule for this as well. So you can set the siren just to happen during a certain period. And again, detection type on there as well. It's only if a certain thing's detected. So for example, if you had it at the back of your house and a person had walked through that area, then you can get the siren going off instead of just general things like a cat or any sort of animals going past. Back from here, back again. Then you can share the camera with other people. Then you've got a time-lapse option. So clicking on here, a new feature. So you can have a time-lapse being recorded on here. That's quite an interesting one. I'll be quite keen to try that, see what that would come out like. Try now, select a scene for time-lapse capture. So there's the selection you have, and you can customize it as well if you wanted to. So this is nice having that customization, and you can have it starting at a certain time, and obviously the duration you're after, and interval, 10-second intervals. Quality wise, you can adjust that. And again, file type, video or photo on this. Quite interesting they've provided this, can be useful. And coming back, if I go back in there, you can see the different examples. So an interesting one would be a construction. So if you had building work going on, set the time lapse on here and just capture all the footage happening. And again, with a better quality camera, you're going to get good quality footage on this. Back from here, back again. Then you've got advanced, so you can change the password, date and time details there. Audio, record audio, so you can disable that as well if you didn't want the audio picked up. Infrared lights, set on auto at the moment, but you can leave it to stay off. Spotlight, it's on auto on when the alarm is triggered, or you could have it on auto on during live view. Back from here, status LED, you can turn that off if you didn't want to give anyone the indication that the camera's there. Then we've got reboot and restore. Back from there, you've got a delete option for the camera. That's all the settings you've got. Looking in the corner, channel selection, day, night, immersive, and picture in picture. This is quite a nice one, picture in picture. So you could just have it floating around as you're using your phone, for instance. If I go back into maximize mode, if I click that one, you've got the floodlight coming on just to show. And the siren's gone off too. Then you've got an option to trigger the siren yourself. So if I click on that, hit that button, there you go. Option to see multiple cameras at the same time. So if you had other Reolink cameras, you can get that appearing. Standard options along here, you've got the pause. You can listen in on what's going on. There you go. Snapshot button, saves locally. You've got the record option to record footage locally onto your phone. Quality, you can change that. Full screen mode, standard stuff you get on these cameras. And then two-way talk is here. If I click that, test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. There you go. Volume levels are here. Then we've got clip, and that sort of zooms in on an area. You can see there. You can expand it as well. Then we've got playback. Playback anything that's been recorded on there. That's all the options you have available. Let's test out the performance in terms of lag time. So if I turn the camera very quickly, just over a second, I'd say. Yeah, about a second, second and a half. So not bad. Now, if I drop this down, turn off my Wi-Fi, let it connect remotely by my 4G. Try the same thing again. About the same again. So about 1 to 2 seconds on there. So not too bad. You can see it didn't have to open any ports on my router at all. It just worked straight out of the box. Let's test out the sound levels from the Siren. 78 decibels, reasonable I'd say. Let me demonstrate sound quality now. So the audio pickup on the mic. So I'm about 7 meters away from the camera. And if I now come in closer, just give you an idea to what to expect from the audio on this in terms of pickups. If I come in close, test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3, and we'll go back again. Audio quality is very impressive and the pickup is good, nice and clear. Let's test out picture quality in the daytime. So it's 60 feet to the end of the garden. I'm going to walk down and walk back again. See for yourself what the quality is like. Daytime picture quality, you can see for yourself, it's very good, very nice and clear, and even in the distance gives a good amount of clarity on the picture. 4 megapixel really does make a hell of a difference, and you can see for yourself, clarity is very impressive for a wireless camera. Moving on to night vision, when you're close up, clarity wise is very good, and now as I'm walking into the distance, even all the items in the background or close up, clarity is very good, but a slight bit of motion blur as I'm walking into the distance, you can see there. But once I come closer, picture quality is good, so you can tell when someone's there. Now this is color night vision, and not too impressed with this one. You can see when there's some ambient light, it doesn't look too bad, but a little bit of ghosting as I'm walking into the distance, so not that impressed with this one. It's reasonable, I'd say. Now moving on to night vision with a floodlight. So as soon as it sees motion, the floodlight can come on, and it gives a lot of light, you can see there. So really impressed with this one, the fact that the floodlight does give off so much light in the background. Picture quality isn't too bad either. You can see for yourself, even in the distance, a lot of clarity in there. Now moving on to comparing the standard camera, which is on the right, with the Pro on the left. Now, gives away straight away the 4 megapixels on here. You've got a lot more detail on the images on the left, and it's a little bit more softer, you could say, on the right. So hopefully it should give you an idea what to expect. I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, give you a clearer idea what to expect with this. So there you go, not too bad, and gives a good idea of the quality to expect with the Pro version. Here's a sample image of a time-lapse in action. So I've set up the camera to come on in the early hours and captured a few hours on the system. Worked well, very easy to set up. Picture quality is great on there and very useful if you wanted to capture time-lapse of something. For instance, like a building project you may have going on. The camera can work with both the Google Home Hub and the Amazon Show devices, which I've got set up over here. Now to get that working, first thing you need to do is in the app, you go to the cloud option, smart home, and just make sure you enable the camera. So over here, garden camera, you can see I've already got it enabled. Now coming out of there, and then in the Google Home side of things, the service you want to add in is Reolink Smart Home, which I have here. Once you've added it in, there's nothing you can do via the app. It's all via the screen. Or if you had a Chromecast, you could cast directly onto that. So now if I say show garden camera.
Alright, streaming the garden camera on living room display. Living room display. Living room display.
So you've got about a 10-second lag, and it takes a while to start up too. Next, just to show how to get this working with the Amazon device. So coming into the app, that's the skill you're after, so Reolink Smart Home. Nothing you can do via the app, you'll need a screen. So either a Fire Stick you can stream onto that, or you could stream directly onto the show like I'm going to demonstrate now. So if I say, show garden camera.
Okay.
On the Amazon side of things, we're getting a 20-second lag, so not the greatest. On both of them, you do see a lag, not the fault of the manufacturer, it's just how it works with these sort of services. Let's test out the performance of motion detection. So if I put my hand out, about 7 seconds, not too bad. And it says, look, person is detected. And if I go in there, you can see what's happening straight away. If I go to playback, you can go through the clips that have been picked up, or what's been going on. Now let's test out motion detection on our data connection. You can see my 4G connections here. If I put my hand out, 2 seconds, that was really cool. So in summary, a really impressive camera, nice and compact, still the same as the Reolink Argus 3, but with the enhanced picture quality on here. So with 4 megapixel coming from here, you're getting really good quality picture. Daytime vision was very good. Nighttime with infrared was very impressive. I wasn't too overly pleased with the color night vision on here. Did see a little bit of ghosting. If you looked at the sample, you would have seen that. Motion detection was a little bit haphazard with the camera. I did find it was a little bit intermittent at times. When it worked, it did work well. Has a built-in Siren, which is customizable, so you can record your own message onto there. Has dual floodlight on there. Doesn't support a masking option, so if, for instance, it was pointing into a garden and some of the area was your neighbor's garden, you can't mask out a region, so it's not recorded. And you can't also select a region to alert on. Nice, it works with the Google Home Hub and the Amazon Show devices, but again, with most cameras, the performance is generally pretty slow, but not the fault of the manufacturer here. So I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. Hang around for the end cards, I'll have some more cameras. Drop me a like, as it really does help the channel out. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.